Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei, because today we're going to be looking at MCC Chaos again. I kind of started, I didn't start a trend, but I was a catalyst to start a trend, because the MCC Reddit has been going crazy over the past day of, since I posted my video yesterday, doing a bunch of MCC Chaos stuff, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to expand on my roster. But before we get into my expansion, let's take a very brief look at what's going on. Someone made this, in which, look, MCC Chaos is a fun concept, but there is a limit to which MCC Chaos still makes sense. What do you mean there's a team of 22 people on Orange? 20, that's half the regular MCC roster, more even, on one team? I don't know, man. I mean, it's pretty chaotic. Some people decided to go very crazy with this, but it's fun, I guess. It's pretty silly. It's pretty silly. No voice chat, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening here. One arm curry plus explanations. There's so many things. Lose a heart for every death. These are just all the lifesteal people. Crazy. Then here's more. People doing chaos teams. We're adding newcomers. I see Greninja here. Okay. It just keeps expanding. There's more and more players. I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Oh, here's some more ones. Oh, crazy. Here's a team of, how many is that? 18 on green, and every other team is a max of 8. This is, yup. Sure, yeah, that's pretty balanced. Oh, here's another one where this pink team has 16 players. Like, what? Let's see if there's more. Oh, here's MCC Chaos, but with a different format. Hold on, let's take a look. Sparkles, Afmao. Okay, well, you can see the profile pictures. Yep, these are cats, women, and, hermit woman plus JoJo. I'm sure there's a logic behind this one. Yep, Among Us. Yep, throwback. That's me. Like a block. I guess it's a Block Wars announced to a Block Wars team. Sure. Lifesteal, but then with Elena. Then you have, yep. Whatever the yep. Sure. Powerpuff Trio. There you go. They're girls. Oh, more chaos teams. Yep. Anyways, you get my point. So much going on. This person is the OG. There's so much is going on. I decided to make a continued version. This does not show it yet, but we shall look at what I have cooked up so far. 6 additional teams have been made, okay? 6 additional ones, which is a, was more of a challenge than I had anticipated, considering I did not use any repeat players, okay? If someone played, if someone was in this roster that you look at right now, they are not going to be moved around. With one exception being 5UP, who I just smacked on the controller team at the end as like a filler player, but there's a team that makes more sense, so let's go. Starting off, you have this team, which is the Twitchcon panel team of myself, Shane, Owen, and Callum. We were all guests on a Twitchcon panel in Rotterdam, and that could be a team. Obviously, compared to some of the previous teams, that's a little bit strong, but guess what? The remaining players result in stronger teams, so unfortunate. If you wanted to win, no you didn't, so there you go, there's your orange team. Yeah, do I need to explain it any further? Technically, Lewis was available and I could have just smacked Lewis on here, but he's on a different team. Honestly, Owen and Lewis can probably swap. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next up, this team represents Spanish events. These are all people that are either, they make events, they host events, they are just players. Coldy, Sapnap, Shadoon, and Sylvie, I feel like, are in the, Spanish events pretty much all the time. And in terms of MCC, they are some of the closest representatives we could get of these events. So there's your team. It's a Spanish rep team. Probably going to speak Spanglish or something in between, considering there's, Shadoon and Coldy who speak mostly Spanish but also English, and then Sapnap and Sylvie who speak mostly English but also, Sylvie speaks Spanish. I'm sure they'll figure it out in this hypothetical event. Either way, let's continue. Here's your 5UP slot. This was, okay, I can explain. there is not like the most cohesion on this team, but there's some logic that makes sense. It's more like two ideas mashed together. I thought Sneeg and Ranboo makes sense. I threw Sykkuno on there because of Ranboo's like project from like a year or two ago, right? I don't remember specifically what it was called. I think, yeah, Sykkuno is in there. I think like Ray, who's not on this tier list, but Ray would be on this team. She's just not on the tier list. Like that could have all been together. Then I was like, well, Sykkuno could be with Toast because of like gaming and Among Us, but then 5UP could be there. So then I combined them, and then because I don't have Ray, I just smacked Michael Reeves on there because it's funny. Also, he knows Sykkuno and Toast, of course, and I wouldn't be surprised if Michael knows Ran or 5UP or Sneeg even. Like, I'm sure there's some cohesion there. I just thought this was silly goofy, okay? A silly goofy team. Throw Valkyrie on there, and it's perfect. Anyways, next team, you have what I also can't really fully explain, but I had Yogscast. I then realized, oh, wait a minute. We only have 4 Yogscast on this tier list, because this is from Pride, because this tier list is mostly people from this year of MCC. So, I decided, well, throw Pete on there, because Martin and Harry, I think, are on Vault Hunters, and Pete's one of the main Vault Hunters guys. And then Guy Rocky kind of feels like he slots in pretty well to keep things somewhat fair and balanced. So there you go. It might be fair without Guy Rocky, but Guy Rocky's on the team now. There you go. And he kind of, I feel like he kind of fits. Next up, you got the team that I put Lewis Fulham on because I had a Lewis and Jack Manifold duo, and then I started expanding it. This team represents the UK. It's very British. It'll be very loud. Initially, I was going to make a team with, like, Tommy, Vic, and, like, Preston and Jack to just make some chaotic-ass team based around Tommy in it. But this is a bit more of a cohesive, quote-unquote, concept. Just a bunch of people from the UK that would probably be at a very high decibel level in terms of team communication, and I think that would be very awesome. However, I do think you could swap around Owen and Lewis, and it'd be fine. You could do this, and it'd be fine. It would be a little bit less loud, but it would still make a lot of sense, so I don't think that matters if you swapped Lewis and Owen. Owen knows Tommy a bit better, probably, so that would help. And then, well, Lewis knows Jack a little bit better, but it is what it is. So there you go. Team swap has been made. It makes the orange team slightly more fair and the cyan team slightly more cohesive, question mark, I don't know. Finally, either way, is probably the craziest team in this entire draft. Oh, freak. You know, if you don't understand what's going on with this pink team, I'm sorry, but this team has almost every one person for every language that I could find that I know 100% people speak. I didn't want to assume based off of like what you know what people look like, for example, right, that they would speak a certain language. So I did not assume that. So that's why we have this, because I know 100% these people speak these languages. Noriax, German, Jeremy, Dutch, Dantrium, British, FitMC, American. That's different languages, I'm just saying, man. Quackity is Spanish. Then you have Apier, who is French, and then Sidonia, who is Italian. What they will be using here is the Quackity live translation thing that Quackity released, which is very cool, by the way. And that's how they will communicate. But they're not allowed to speak English. Well, besides Fit and Dan, because they have to. So Fit and Dan have an advantage here, I guess. But for the most part, these guys all have to stick to their main language, which would be very silly and funny. And I would like to see it. It would be really cool. And that's your roster. There's some players remaining. I'm sure there's a couple teams you could make here. But I didn't want to spam a bunch of random teams. Sorry. I didn't want to spam a bunch of random teams and then end up with just, you know, some random teams. So if you want to go crazy and continue my roster, feel free. This is probably where the MCC Chaos saga ends, unless they announce MCC Chaos, which I don't think they will. Either way, thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts on these teams. Or don't. I don't really care. Anyways, thank you for watching. See you later. Goodbye.